If truth were true, or actually exists, what else would have to be true? Or what else would have to exist for truth to be true? You can either analyze the possible delusion delusionally, or be delusional certainly, yet both measure certainty nonetheless. Knowledge is this most glorified of all the guesses. The true meaning of any expression is the living ratio between what's certain and what isn't. We're all trying to be objective, but the thing truly objective here is how provided it all is and how those provisions are provided. This mirror, this toolkit, doesn't tell you what to believe. It just shows us which pieces are holding steady, which pieces are being pulled in and not agreeing to be a part of a picture. The reflection, ultimately the expression. This mirror, this toolkit, hands it back to you in a degree of certainty and uncertainty. And it's all free to read, look at, no downloads. Well, I guess you could copy and paste it. It's just a synthesis of ideas I've worked on for a while. And the best way I could get to it, it's not finished, it never will be, but its direction is rather unbreakable. Expressionalism.com, Expressionalism1, the number 1, at gmail.com, github.com/expressionalism/expressionalism. Have fun. Okay. Thanks for watching the hype train. Oh, ooh, here we go. Something like that. All right. For those of you who want to skip the philosophy and how all this works, let's just do that now. All you got to do, you can go to expressionalism.com, or you can go to github.com/expressionalism/expressionalism. And you just go to the toolkit here in GitHub and just copy and paste this whole thing. Same thing here. Expressionalism.com. There's a quick start guide. It's basically about to say what I'm about to say here. But yeah, just select it, go to the bottom, hold shift or whatever you want to do. Copy, right click copy, control C, whatever. And then go to the AI of your choosing. I usually just say, I have a toolkit I want you to take in and memorize. I'll ask follow-up questions later. Anyway, while it's doing that, what usually happens is this. So I ran this toolkit on the Declaration of Independence, just as an example, right? And you'll get this long-winded output, and it goes through all these kinds of mathematics and numerics, and if you're interested, they kind of look like this, very pretty. By the way, at expressionalism.com, all these documents and also the GitHub, they're all available, right? Just to be clear, the framework is the philosophical backbone. Then there's the toolkit, but the supporting documents, we've got this mathematical model, and you'll notice that some of the text here is it's formatted to something called LaTeX or KTeX. LaTeX, KATEX. And it's in that kind of formatting, so this looks a little goofy. Okay, back to the Declaration of Independence. Okay, so just to give you an idea here, the toolkit is making it's just showing the edge of like a map, an edge of an idea or a thought or an argument or a feeling, whatever. They're all being transduced down to an expression. So if we're in a state of analyzing and assessing and questioning and wondering, we have to put whatever we're doing into a box. And the only box that seems common across all these ideas, frameworks, philosophies, methodologies, ontologies, knowledge, whatever. It seems like an expression is required for an assessment or an analysis, whatever. And all we're doing is we want to see where the edge is between what's certain about it and what's uncertain. Okay, so when you run the toolkit on something, in this case the Declaration of Independence, the U.S. Declaration of Independence, because we're turning it into an expression, that expression is based on other expressions. So we call these other expressions secondary expressions. The one you're analyzing is called the primary here. Okay. So the secondary expressions in this case, John Locke, social contract, Thomas Paine, it just seems like all this kind of was put together or was required to be put together to make the primary expression the U.S. Declaration of Independence. Okay, so that's what the secondaries are. And there's this traction flow diagram on how these ideas are kind of consolidating and being put together, synthesizing, as it were, whatever. And this is backed up by certainties, right? So this is where all those different secondary expressions work with each other. The certainty part, right? I'm very not interested in this. These are all the assumptions and presumptions, basically, that are required for whatever it is you're analyzing to be the case. I'm definitely interested in what's uncertain about anything I'm analyzing. So what this toolkit does is points that out as well. All men are created equal. That doesn't really work because, what is the saying? There's women, there's enslaved people, there's Native Americans, there's men in all those categories. How does, there's an uncertainty there. And it's also kind of grabbing other things from the secondaries that are conflicting. It mentions, creator, what's that? And you need to do these runs about 3 to 5 times just to be scientifically rigorous. Even the scientific method says run your test at least 3 to 5 times. But it'll give you kind of a playing field. I just did this one run, and one of the runs I did on the Declaration of Independence was something like, right, so you have a grievance against a tyrannical king, and you're replacing the king with people. Would that mean that people are now going to be the tyrannical thing? I mean, it was just an interesting insight as an uncertainty. Anyway, okay. So you're going to get something like this, the certainty take. It's trying to put all this in plain language, the uncertainty in plain language, what's kind of being presumed in plain language, and the whole thing being summarized. This is still kind of hard to read. So the next thing I usually like to do is, can you just simply explain in plain language for a general audience or something like this. Without jargon, what's going on with this output? Or something like that. I don't know. So we'll let that run. Let's go back to... right, so we have the toolkit memorized. Okay. So you could do anything, right? You could analyze 2 plus 2 equals 4, right? Totally certain, builds bridges, everyone uses it, it's around the world. You'll find uncertainties there. But we're skipping a lot of philosophy and how this works. But there's always uncertainty. Spoiler alert. Okay. And you can do that on your own. You'll find the uncertainties with that. And it's not like, there's nothing dogmatic here. It's not like a woke left argument, like 2 plus 2 equals 5. It's not like that. It's more that it'll point out that if equals equals equals, where is that coming from other than the agreement that people are making? It's going to point out uncertainties like that. Run the primary expression. Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. I'm not doing this for controversial purposes. I'll show you what's going on here. So run the primary expression, Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Follow the toolkit exactly. Show me the results. Haven't run this before. We'll see what happens. Okay, while that's happening, anything else I want to tell you? All this is doing is just, like I said, point out that line between what's certain and what's uncertain, and just reflecting it back at you with whatever you're analyzing. Okay. So we ran the toolkit on Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, right? Pure absolute denial, no loss occurred. Okay, so he denied it, or there was denial nationwide, machine switching, total simultaneous compromise of all the courts. Okay. I mean, but look, don't take this one run as verbatim. But it'll just point out things that maybe you didn't think about when you're critically analyzing something, right? The other thing you can do with this toolkit is, like I was telling you earlier, like we're analyzing a primary expression, but I want the secondaries, like the context or some other reasoning, to be a part of it more or emphasize something else, that this won't just